It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. 'Cause we're all gonna die from coronavirus. Good morning, you beautiful people. Welcome. Listen, I'm gonna get a new mic stand. This whole sound and everything that happens, it sounds like I'm recording this on a 1990s twin-size bed. Just squeaky, you know? Sounds like I got a twin-size mattress from the thrift store and decided to record my podcast on it. Okay? The whole creaking and everything, every time I try to adjust it, it just steps on jokes. It steps on information, distracts you. I think that's a huge part of podcasting, is keeping you in the moment, not making you be like, oh, what the fuck was that? You know? That's big. That's big with podcasting, stand-up. I was doing a set last week, and right as I was about to do my favorite punchline in a joke, the microphone cable fell out, and it stepped on the joke completely. It was terrible. That is the fourth time a microphone cable has fell out while I was on stage. I mean, I'm not proud of that statistic or fact. You know, maybe it is me. Maybe I'm the reason why these microphone cables are just jumping ship. You know, they're like, you know what? Fuck this shit. It's like a ghost is living in the venue. And they're like, look at this fucking hack. We've heard this joke 1,000 times. Pull the plug on them, and they just use all their dark magic to remove me from the ability to use my voice at a high volume. It's crazy, huh? Groundbreaking, prophetic things that I'm saying right now, you know? Good morning, you beautiful people. You beautiful people. Isn't it? Like, when I think about it a lot, isn't public speaking like the weirdest thing? This is even a bit or a segue. I'm just trying to keep this going, keep them dice shaking, if you will. Public speaking is the weirdest thing when you can see cracks in the armor of you can see, oh shit, they're nervous. Oh shit, that paper is moving. That was the worst. Sorry, I have coronavirus in my throat right now. That was the worst in school. And I still see it with stand-up. I don't know why motherfuckers take loose paper on stage. Like, if they have any, like, obviously, if you're bringing, here's how the sausage is made. If you're bringing loose paper on stage, it means you don't know the jokes good enough. And if you don't know the jokes good enough, you're not sure about them. And if you're not sure about them, it's going to be a little nerve-wracking. Nothing is, in stand-up, I think that's the hardest thing, is doing new jokes and new ideas when you haven't fleshed them out completely, and they're just little babies. They're Bambi legs, you know? New jokes are usually terrible. They're a chuckle, but they need work. Sometimes you get a little gem. You'll be driving to a place, and you get a little gem in there. You're just like, ooh, I could say this. And it'll usually just be a tag, and it's just like, boom. Sometimes when that hits, makes my willy tingle. Bars. It's so nice when you're just like, let me just say this tagline. And you say it, and if it kills, you're like, oh yeah, baby. Oh yeah. But that is the worst, is when, that's the thing, is I don't, like, this is one thing that I always was like, well, shit, okay, I got a superpower, is at least early on, people would tell me, dude, your comfortability, you just seem so calm and everything. I could have been freaking out inside and been so goddamn nervous. But for some reason, I just look calm on the surface. People would be like, dude, you're so relaxed and everything. I wasn't at all. People think that there's just this, you know, hey, how you doing, guys? I guess I just have a good poker face. And that's actually something I like. That's where I was like, oh, okay, cool. Well, if I'm eating my own dick up here, metaphorically, inside, If they can't tell that I'm nervous or that I'm embarrassed about this, then cool. Then I'm just going to keep going through it. And that kind of like relieves some tension, because the last thing you want is for the audience to know you're nervous, or them to see you fucking up. You start stuttering and shit, talking fast. Horrible. Yeah, I'm trying to think some of the worst things that have happened on stage with nerves. For me, yeah. Sometimes sets will start going off the rails, and the worst thing that you can do, I think this is something with like everything you do in life, is you want to hit that flow state where you're just thinking about that moment. You're not in your own head. Like with boxing, with sports, with everything, is just thinking about like being lost in the process of just like, like sometimes you hit a flow with stand-up and it's like you have the whole audience is on board. Like that's the thing, is if you can get the audience to a certain state of like almost like hypnotizing them. And I don't know if other comedians have said this before, probably, but it's like you get them hypnotized and they're just on board with whatever you're saying, where every tag, everything's just ha ha ha, and then they wait. Like you guys are on the same rhythm, and it's beautiful, because then it's a dance. Then you're hitting that salsa, that step forward, and not stepping on each other's feet. You're moving the hips, dun dun. You know when to spin them. They know when to go back. Bars, and that's what you like to get to. It's like when someone's first starting to learn how to juggle, they're like throwing the balls up at different speeds, different rates, and everything, and they can't keep it up, and then they just hit that fucking. They're just flowing. Flow state, baby. That's what it's all about. And when you're in that state with a stand-up, you also, there's like, at least for me, the nerves go away completely. And it's just complete relaxation. But you have to get to that point. And I think that's a huge key, is once you get to that point, you're just like, oh yeah, I got him. And it just flows nicely. The opposite is when a joke doesn't work and then you mess something up, something happens in the room and you're losing the audience, and then you're thinking about it. You're like, oh shit, that didn't work. Okay, how am I going to get them back? Okay, how do I do that? Okay, shit, what's this? Oh, I just stuttered. Oh shit, I just fucking blah, blah, blah. And then it's just a tailspin. And you got to reset. I always like making a joke about something in the room, or acknowledging that a joke didn't work. And then that will reset it a little bit, and we'll get them back to step one. And then we got to start over, just like the goddamn world's going to start over. Segue, coronavirus. It's here, and it's here to stay, you know? I feel like this podcast has been a documentation of the slow progression of coronavirus. Like, I hope that when the next civilization starts back up, they find my podcast and use it in different cuts of the slow progression of, you know how in the movie sometimes when it's like a outbreak apocalypse style movie, and it starts with like a news, people be like, there was a weird confusion today and people are getting the flu, so make sure you guys are staying to immunity. Keep your immunity up. And then the next cut is they're just like, symptoms worsen as we experience our first death from this mysterious flu. And then it cuts to the next one, and the lady's like kind of all like distraught, and she's just like, authorities have said stay inside your homes until we can figure out the cause of this outbreak. Symptoms may be aggression and violence towards others. And then it will be like the next one is her clothes just all ripped up, and she's like bruised because her husband got it. She got like a black eye. Hashtag no domestic violence. I just see what just happened. I got going way too fast in my own goddamn head. Anyway, back to the skit. She's got a black eye because her husband has the disease, started beating her. Hashtag I don't support domestic violence. Bars. And she's just like, stay in your homes and, you know, God be with us. And then it just cuts out. That's the start of every terrible zombie movie, you know? And I've seen 100% of them. I'll be honest with you guys. Every terrible zombie idea or show or something, I'll watch it. I don't give a shit. I like zombie movies. One of the best zombie movies is, just with subtitles, Last Train to Chara, something. That was very racist, but it is what it is. Last Train to Okinawa or something shit. See, it was better when I just garbled my words. But anyway, if you just type in Last Train to zombie movie, you'll find it. I believe it's on Netflix. Great zombie movie. Great zombie movie. Zombies done right. That's why I don't like this. I mean, I loved The Walking Dead early on. That first season, bars. It was amazing. Even like up until like the 4th or 5th season, when we got to the prison, I loved that season, you know. And it just started. The wheels started coming off a bit after that. I think they were like, we've kind of done everything. Let's just start doing this. And instead of like, I think it's a lazy idea, you know, when you start just killing off characters and changing the variables rather than the storyline. Like, this is the thing between Dexter and The Walking Dead. The Walking Dead had the comic books to go off of, and they were doing great early on sticking with the comic books. But then they were like, I think they got too cocky. I think the ego got to them, and they were like, you know what? Let's stunt on these motherfuckers, and we're going to start writing our own stories. And then they started going away from the comic books, but then they stayed with the story loosely, so they were kind of contained by that. And then they just started killing motherfuckers off, you know? Key characters like Glenn. It started falling apart when Glenn died for me. Like that, even though I liked that season and Negan has been my favorite character, you get too crazy. You get too crazy with wanting to do your own thing, and like, I think it gets lazy. Like, writing a story is very hard. I don't know if you've ever done it, but it's very hard. And especially when you've started writing yourself into a corner and also already started exploring so many things that you kind of have to, it has to be a real effort to really go in a new direction and to keep it interesting. And I think what The Walking Dead started doing is, rather than that, they just wanted to start exploring drama. They want to exploring different character arcs and developing characters from scratch, rather than maintaining all these characters that we loved and then building a story with all of them in there. You already had all the drama set out. It was a new storyline we needed, not new characters, okay? And it's lazy. And no one really cares about, like, and that's the thing, you could bring on new characters. You can't really change. There's not going to be a groundbreaking character development compared to a new storyline development. So I think they spent too much time on the character development aspect rather than the storyline when we already had all those characters developed. Just my 2 cents. And you're like, Evan, why did you bring up Dexter? Because I'm not at the finale yet of Dexter, and I'm sure I'll have a lot of shit to talk because I hear it's terrible, the finale. But I love that every single season of Dexter is such a great story, and it's completely unique to the previous story of that season. And what are we doing? We're maintaining all the same characters, but they're all slowly changing and just keep like a nice marinade. It just ages like a fine wine. Their stories are just developing so nicely every season, but the story is changing. All their arcs are changing, but we're having completely new storylines that these characters that we have all the development on are having to navigate it. And I think that's what's intriguing. It's not like, oh, let's see how a random person handles this story. No, we're already seeing how these people we're invested in are watching this story, or how they have to deal with it. And I think that's where The Walking Dead fucked up. And I mean, I guess when Andrew Lincoln left, it's not a democracy anymore. I think that was the last straw that broke the camel's back. Because, I mean, we got Daryl still, but I'm even just like, man, Daryl almost died last night. # spoiler alert. And I'm just like, I'm not invested anymore, okay? You guys have lost me, okay? You know? Where's Daryl's dog? I missed the dog, you know? I know it's not in a kennel somewhere, all right? But anyway, all that just to say, I love everything zombies. Okay. I don't know about the new show that they're going to do. It's called like The Walking Dead Beyond World. That was terrible. It's like based around kids now. Now we're going to have like a kids angst, drama series about kids in the Walking Dead world, but it's like a different take on it. And I just think we'll go back to the original story. All right. We're diluting it. Y'all aren't Marvel. Y'all can't navigate this world like this. Okay. It's just, we're getting out of hand, but I'll still watch everything zombie. I will. I'm sorry. I'm a terrible person. And I think it is because, I'm secretly fascinated by apocalypse and what would happen. And that's like, I think that's why I have all this like interest in like Survivor Man and all these survival things. And I've always loved hunting and fishing and like being outdoors and just building things from scratch. Like that's why I think I started my own company with video production and everything, is because I like taking nothing and trying to build something, bars. And I think that's something that I'm just infatuated with. It's just always so interesting to me to just like have to build something from scratch. Like that's why I couldn't do a regular job where I just had to repeat process. Nah, I just like keep having to make things from nothing. That's just what satisfies me. Giggity. But I think this coronavirus, like I just saw this morning, and obviously it's the news. They're going to blow everything out of proportion, and it's such a hot topic right now. Everybody, like, that's the thing, is when you have stats, like this is how the news works. Obviously, you know it. You have stats of what articles got clicked on. If you put out an article about coronavirus, you put one out about the stock market, you put one out about housing prices, you put one out about the Kardashians, you put one out about blah, 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 some sports teams, blah, 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 local thing. And you see that coronavirus got 3.6 million clicks. Kardashians probably not that far behind with like 2 million. And then everything else was in like the 200,000, 150,000. You're going to be like, okay, the goal of us to make money is through ads. How do we do that? By clicks. What got the most clicks? Coronavirus. Wash, rinse, repeat that process. So all of a sudden, 4 or 5 more coronavirus articles. Oh, giggity, we're making money. This is what the people are clicking on. Fear. So let's just keep repeating that. So anytime there's anything with coronavirus in it that like news, they'll jump all over it and make it seem crazy. It was just same thing with school shootings. It's like school shootings were happening for a long time. It's not this new phenomenon, but when they realized the amount of clicks and, engagement they got off of it, they were like, let's report on every single school shooting related incident that we can. And it worked. It worked. So that's how the media works, if you didn't know. This shit's educational AF. I'm going to have to change this podcast description to education rather than comedy entertainment. But the coronavirus is kind of crazy. And there's a first case in New York. We already got some in Southern California. I just saw a video this morning of people with face masks on. They were taking off their face mask, spitting on a rag, and wiping it on all the buttons in an elevator. I don't know what the fuck that is. I don't know. But it was like some weird video they were claiming was from China, and people were spitting on the numbers in the elevator as if trying to spread a virus. And there was multiple videos. Could it have been fake? Yes. Could it have been easily produced? Yes. Could it have been taken out of context and used for this? Yeah. Why? Because people just want to get shares and likes and comments. But the idea of that is so scary. The fact that people do that. And listen, it doesn't even have to be malicious like that. I had a dude coughing in the sauna the other day. You're like, Evan, all you do is talk about the sauna. I go in the sauna regularly. But I just kept staring at him every time he coughed. And then we'll be like, and I'm just like, dude, in general, I don't care if you have a cold or a sinus infection. Don't fucking go to the gym when you're sick. And that's the thing, is I don't think it has to be some malicious thing. that's going to spread a virus like coronavirus. And it's like, listen, this is how the like our society would be wiped out. This is how an apocalypse style world really would start, is like shit like this, is just people not being smart enough to stay home when they're sick. That's all it is. You guys realize that? Like, most shit just spreads because people don't give a shit or aren't self-aware enough to not go to the gym. Like, they're so selfish. Like, that's the thing. It gets me fired up. It gets me fired up, just like boneless wings. When people don't give a shit about other people's health and well-being, it fucking, it gets me. This is a pet peeve of mine. I can't stand it. When I get sick, not saying I'm a perfect angel, when I get sick, and this is one of my things, I won't go to jiu-jitsu. I won't go to the regular gym. If it's a sinus infection, if it's anything, because I'm like, I don't want to spread this to the gym because I'm, hey, a decent person. Okay? So I hate when I go to jiu-jitsu or if I go to the regular gym and people are coughing and it's a productive cough and they say this bullshit like, oh, it's not contagious anymore. Like, hey, where's your fucking degree? Oh, are you on antibiotics? Oh, you're not. You haven't been on them for 48 hours? Yeah, you're contagious, motherfucker. All right? Gets me fired up, I'll be honest with you. I don't get it. And that's really how everything's going to spread, is just people cough. They don't stay home when they're sick. People just don't care. Like, you got to do shit. Like, that's how I think the world becomes a better place, is when you start caring for other people's well-being. It's annoying. Like, that's why I hate when people, driving, when people cut you off, when they don't stop at stop signs, I take it as straight personal disrespect, because I'm like, hey, you don't care about any other fucks on the road. You just care about you. Okay. That doesn't work, okay? And the only reason that you are acting like that is because there's no repercussions or consequences for your actions. Like, when you're in a car and you just you're pulling up to a stop sign and all of a sudden they just go when it was your right of way. They're only doing that because they don't have consequences, okay? They wouldn't do that if you were actually face to face and they couldn't get away. Sometimes I want to follow those people home and then cut off their head and put it on my car antenna, drive them around for the rest of the fucks to see it, But I can't do that. That'd be too much. I would only be able to make that statement once. People would remember it for like a week, and then we would move on. So I can't do that. That's not an option. I'm kidding, people. These are jokes. It is an option, always. But I can't stand when people go to the gym sick, and when they, go through a stop sign when it's your right of way. Happens all the time. And when people don't clean up their dog shit. That's another one. That's a real way. You want to save the world. Instead of being out protesting and everything, just take care of yourself, okay? Take care of yourself and do the baseline shit that's good for the world, all right? Some people will be like protesting and all this stuff, equality, but then they throw shit out the window. They go to the gym when they're sick. Hey, if you go to the gym when you're sick, you can't complain about a single thing in this goddamn world. You shouldn't even be able to get a tax return, okay? That's what I propose. Listen, people who just go to the gym when they're sick or don't clean up their dog shit or roll through stop signs when it's not their right of way, no tax return. We need to start doing it, okay? I'll vote for whatever presidential candidate that does that, all right? Fucking, I'm running. Can I run? Is it too late for me to throw my hat in there? I think I can do it, right? All right, guys, write in Evan Lopez this year on the ballot, okay? If you're in California, we already know it's a liberal state. It doesn't matter who you vote for. The liberals are going to win, Just write in Evan Lopez. Could you do that for me? And you know how I know people don't really care about other people? When the coronavirus, because listen, I got some inside scoop on some shit internationally. Inside scoop. There was a real health scare for coronavirus. And they were all over the news, these N95 masks. These masks that are supposed to be able to protect you against the virus. Here's the thing. The reason I want to get the mask, and I have one, I need to get another one, is because, like, the fact that I need it or would want them as a safety precaution is because I know motherfuckers aren't following the safety precautions. People are like, the general surgeon came out and was like, hey, stop buying all these masks. These masks should only be worn by the people who have symptoms of coronavirus. But I'm like, hey, motherfucker, these motherfuckers are going in the sauna. They're obviously spreading it. So we shouldn't be like, well, I just hope they wear them. I won't wear one. You know, it's like the same thing when people don't want guns. Hashtag political. When people don't want guns and they're like, why do you need guns to defend yourself when we have the police department? Like, motherfucker, because they don't sleep in my house late at night when someone's trying to break in. Okay? There's like a 8-9 minute arrival time at best if someone tries to break in. No, I got to defend this hole. I got to defend the bub hole. Okay? That's what I call my home. I can't be relying on the government to try to protect me. I can't be relying on just hoping that the people with coronavirus wear the mask. And you know what's fucked up? This is why I know it's everybody for themselves. And listen, if I have the opportunity to buy more than a couple masks, more than I need, I will give them to the people that need them. If someone comes to me in a moment of need and I'm like, hey, take this. And then I'll be like, you clean up your dog shit, right? Okay, cool. Yeah. Take this. I'll never give it to someone I see their dog shit at the park and they don't clean it up. I make a note. I take a picture. I get their license plate, their social security, and I wait. And I'm like, okay, they're not getting a mask in the apocalypse. And I'm going to make people give me their driver's license when they try to come to my domain during the apocalypse. And I'll be like, oh, March 3rd, 2020. You didn't clean up your dog's shit. I'm sorry. Access denied. Keep it moving, pimpin'. You know? Keep it moving, pimpin'. Ridiculous. But here's how I know everybody is for themselves and shitty. I went to Walmart. I went to Lowe's. I forgot where else I went. Oh, Costco. I went everywhere. I was looking all over for these masks just as preventative. I was like, hey, you never know if this thing gets crazy and this, because listen, it seems like a joke. Coronavirus. Orange County's on alert. There's already been cases. They're in a state of emergency. New York has just got their first case. It is in the United States. So there's a chance that it does spread all over. Everywhere was sold out of these masks that are supposed to be able to prevent it. Not only that, they had to start hiding them at the store and keeping them behind the counter because people were buying them and selling them at a higher cost right outside the door. And listen, I'm all about the free market, supply and demand, but hey, you're just as shitty of a person as the pharmaceutical companies that bumped up the price of EpiPens by like $800 just to profit on somebody's need to not die. You're just as shitty as those people. Like, you can profit in the open market and supply and demand, but listen, you're a shitty fucking human. The fact that you're standing outside of Walmart with masks that you just bought trying to profit off people's health. It's fucking, you're a shitty person, shitty human. And even on eBay and everything, you got masks that are normally $4.99 going for $50. Crazy. But that's people for you, huh? That's people for you. Did I stock up? Yeah, I got some extra rice so I can make my rice and beans during the apocalypse. I got some oatmeal, made a lot of oatmeal. Got a bunch of canned food. I got a few containers of water, just in case. A couple bags of protein, just in case. I got to be diesel during the apocalypse. That's the thing, is you want to stay in shape. I always wonder that during The Walking Dead. I'm like, why aren't these motherfuckers ever doing push-ups? Okay? Y'all just dwindling down? Nah, I'm doing laps. I'm ready. I'm stretching. You're going to see me in the apocalypse, full athletic gear, shaving my head, drinking amino acids. First place I go to pillage during the apocalypse, GNC. I'm getting diesel during the apocalypse. I don't give a fuck Okay? And I'm not doing any of this bullshit. I'm not strength training right now. I'm not doing heavy lifting. Because listen, I'm going to be fucking supple. Supple. Right now, I'm working on a lot of functional training, a lot of stamina stuff. Okay? Because that's the body you want during the apocalypse. You don't want to be a fucking bodybuilder. You ain't going to be able to do shit. And you know what? You're going to be cranky AF during the apocalypse. You're not getting your food. You're not getting your macros. You got to eat 11 meals a day. Nah, that ain't working for me, man. You can't be part of my squad. All right? I'm going to be fucking supple AF. Just kettlebells and bone-in chicken wings. Okay? That's going to be another thing. I'm going to be poisoning all the boneless wings at every establishment I go. I go to Vaughn's, I'm poisoning all the boneless wings. Because you know what? If you went for them, shame on you. We don't want you around when we rebuild this world, the new world order of bone-in wings. We can't have you out there running around. You're going to have some crazy, wacky ideas. People with like boneless wings. Oh, man. That's what's crazy. That's what's crazy is like, you don't want to be the first person that treats it like this is really going to be an apocalypse. But you also don't want to be the last. Because then you're going to be like, oh, shit, maybe I should have got some supplies. You know? I only got some stuff that I eat regularly. So if it doesn't happen, I'm just stocked up for a while. I don't have to go to Costco for a while. You know? I'm good. Like as soon as we got a cure, I'm breaking into that extra bag of rice, you know? You don't want to be the first, but you don't want to be the last. And that's the thing. I'm going to find all the people during the apocalypse that bought all the face masks. Take them. Supple. I'm supple AF, okay? All you people who say like, that's another thing is I have people, listen, I do martial arts training just to help me keep my mind right. I'd be a goddamn heathen if I didn't have boxing and jiu-jitsu. I'd be a heathen. I'd be a psychopath if I didn't keep that regulated. You ever seen like a crock pot, like a steam cooker? You just have to pull the lid off. They'll take the steam out a little bit. That's what jiu-jitsu and boxing does for me. Just it keeps me from following the people that run through stop signs and cut me off, from following them, cutting their head off and putting them on my car antenna. All right? It stops me from doing that. And I don't even have a car antenna, so I don't have to put them on the windshield wiper and just That's what doing those training, those type of disciplined martial arts does to me. But the people who are like, I'm never going to need that. I have people do that because I'll try to get everybody into jiu-jitsu because I'm just like, it'll make you a better human. And they're like, when am I ever going to need that? Apocalypse. I can't wait to find those motherfuckers. And I'm going to choke you out. Take your supplies. Better believe that. Better believe that. Oh, you're done. Everybody who did a fake karate gesture every time they saw me, yeah, you still doing jujitsu? Ha! Yep. Just wait. I'm going to start saying that. Just wait for the apocalypse. Those are some mighty fine resources you got. Be a shame if someone just took them from you. That's a nice N95 mask. Be a shame if someone took them from you. Oh, that's a nice bag of boneless chicken wings. Be a shame if someone took them from you. Injected them with poison and then force fed them to you. Because you can't defend yourself. You can't defend yourself. But if you got some bone-in chicken wings to share, I might rethink everything. All right? You don't think I screenshotted when I did that a survey on who liked bone-in wings and wingless or boneless wings? I'll check who's on the naughty or nice list. If you're on that bone-in, if you supported me during that moment, I'll rethink it. I'll allow you into the crew, into the brethren. Oh, this has been a wild day. A wild day so far, huh? How are you guys doing? You guys doing good? Y'all living? Some sad news. Trader Joe died. Y'all know Trader Joe? Owns Trader Joe's. He passed away. He's no longer with us. R.I.P. Listen, I'll be honest. Trader Joe's is my favorite store. It really is. I love it. Love going back in the back, getting a little sample and a little cup of coffee. It's just great. And he had a great philosophy. And it was just about bringing like healthy food to the everyday person who can afford it. Like all the shit that Whole Foods has isn't really that great. Whole Foods is like the Gucci of the food world. It's like, okay, it might be good, but it's nothing special. All right? Like, I don't know if you know this, but even the 99-cent store gets their food from Whole Foods. The same distributor. But what happens is, since people are all crazy and there's like this idea of perfection, that's what's crazy. Like all this, a lot of the things about food is presentation. So when you go there, you don't want to see a tomato with a dent in it. You don't want to see an avocado with a dent in it. All these like the veggies and everything like that. So what happens is there's like an A pick, there's like a B pick, and then there's like a C pick. Those B and C's, they get sent to the 99-cent store because they can't sell them to the people who only need the A, which is like Whole Foods. There's nothing wrong with them. They might go bad a little sooner. Like if they get too ripe, they'll send them. But there's zero difference between the 99-cent store, veggies and everything like that, than the Whole Foods. Because I saw one time that the 99-cent store had plantains, plátanos. I normally get them from Vallarta, but I saw them at the 99-cent store and I looked at the brand, the lot number, everything. I compared it. I had some from Vallarta, had some from Red Barn. Red Barn's this insanely expensive fucking place in Ventura. And then I got some from 99-cent store. They all have the same brand and lot number. And then I asked the person at 99-cent store, I said, hey, where do you guys get your veggies and your fruit? And she told me, she says, these are like the B-Pick, same distributors as Whole Foods and Walmart and Costco. No, Costco's different, sorry. But then I went home and started Googling it. And I started going down the rabbit hole. Same shit. It's like all the factories that do the Jordans and everything and all these expensive purses that y'all psychos spend like $10,000 on. Same factories as same little kids are making those shoes as the ones that are making like the Walmart knockoffs. And y'all are like, let me spend $9,000 on it. That makes sense. That's another thing. If you have a $10,000 purse in the apocalypse, not letting you in. Not letting you in. But I just want to say rest in peace to the legend, Trader Joe. I will always support your establishment and your way of life and your belief. I'm being good to the people. It's people like Trader Joe that'll make me a better person during the apocalypse. I'm actually going to have my name be Trader Evan in the apocalypse. And I'll be fair to the people. Except the ones that eat boneless wings. I love you guys.